Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bar Academy. It is October 8th, 2024. We've got Nutty Wombat here, MstrBel, Nebuchadnezzar, and a myriad of other players. How you guys doing?
Good.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, relatively.
Everything is relative, as they say, right? Well,
Yeah.
I've got 3 of your recent replays, Neb. Which one of these do you think would be the best to look at? I have one in my mind I kind of want to look at, but I want to hear what you think.
Which one do you want to look at?
I want to look at this Heartbreak Hill game.
Yeah. Let's look at that one because also Nutty's here. So what?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Nutty, are you here? Do you have your mic set up or?
Yep, I'm here.
Hey man, would you mind like introducing this game and perhaps the map itself?
Sure. So we played this earlier this afternoon. Neb was, I think, expressing a little bit of frustration with Canis River as a map, so I maybe recommended this one just because, like, the energy situation at least is a little bit. The wind speed's fairly comparable. It's about the same. Like, it feels like it's about the same size, so I thought it might be an interesting alternative for him to practice on if he's getting frustrated with Canis. And yeah, we played 2 games, I think, on this one. The first one was a little bit faster, and then I think this one was more like a warmed up game from the 2 of us, I think.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. Very nice.
Yeah. So I would say I've had a tilting run of games. So I was pretty frustrated just in general, but.
I wouldn't know anything about getting tilted, so
yeah,
I just can't relate at all.
Yeah, I just the skill curve of this game is so steep that you can practice so much and just not like see the results, you know. So I thought it would be a good game to bring in.
Trying to fix. Oh, well, that's good. Of course I'd like to add. Best not to get too mad, too tilted, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways. Yeah, so let me unload this. I like to think of this as like a really build order dependent map. So if you don't have a solid build, it can get kind of dicey. So.
It kind of feels like Canis River is very similar
to this as well.
Or just where you just need a build order, you know, like I guess just the game in general. If you have a build on a map, usually you're at a advantage.
Nutty Wombat's going for that 2 mech style. Chisato made a point about opening 3 mechs on this map. I'm trying to think back to what he said.
Yeah, because the X Factor said you should always open 3 mechs on this map.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm doing it.
Yeah. This is super nitpicky, but I really think this lab should be right here.
Okay, how come?
So your commander can move this way if you want to.
Okay.
You don't have to walk all the way around this way or that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see what the build order is. Don't have anything queued up just yet.
I might have forgotten to this game.
I think the commander can actually walk through the core bot lab.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that though. I mean, I guess that is just a good point about lab placement.
I would say like there's a bit of like idling build power here. Like we're stalling E right now pretty hard, so even off this 2 solar open, I think you should make like 3 wind turbines straight away. Even at least 1, right? Like you'll have a wind turbine almost finished before that res bot even starts making, right? So
yeah,
it's a kind of a big deal. Oh, actually, even I don't really like res bots on this map, to be honest. I'm not sure.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, I don't really think they're that good.
Okay. So yeah, I just don't know the map very well.
Right. I don't think there's enough trees. The trees do have a lot of energy in them, but like say you do the 3 mech spot and you go like this, and maybe you make your lab like here or something, you can just walk over here and just grab this with your commander, and it's like
Yeah.
it's no big deal. Or you could do it with a con even, right? Like this con could come down here, grab those, and then expand. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Of course, Wind is like tanking right now. You look like a genius, like having the resbot out, like solving your energy issues.
Well, only for a little bit, because now like there isn't a ton of energy there.
Yeah. These trees are actually not negligible. So in this position, like, yeah, you might want to think about adding a 3rd solar. This map seems like weirdly not 15 wind speed, right? Because maybe it's like the 3 minimum, something like that. But okay. I mean, I could give you some pointers on like what I'm seeing right now as far as an open goes, or like your expansion path could be.
Yeah, that would be helpful. But I guess if there's also more like general advice you could give for like how you're pathing your cons, right?
Right. So I would think of this map as like split between like this theater, and everything between it, kind of. So seems like it's kind of weird because players spawn here. This is a quicker route for them to go than to come up to this plateau, right? But you kind of have to watch out for like where they're bringing in their commander. Most of the times I see players favoring like bringing their commander this way or into mid, right? So as far as that goes, I'd say this kind of is how the map gets split more often than not. And then you're contesting this area in the middle, right?
Okay.
So that being said, I would say this con could do something like 1, 2, 3, put an LLT here, put an LLT there, and then figure out how to grab all this, right?
You don't bother with an LLT on that 2 spot?
You can put one there. Actually, I didn't really point it out, but you can put a radar here. I was going to make a little aside on like radars, right? Like this is a great radar spot. I see a lot of players just immediately make a radar right here out of the factory. Like this first con will like come up here, make the radar, and then cap these mexes. And then like maybe another con comes here, caps those 2. But really, if you were to get 3 cons expanding, I would have like one going this way, at least one going this way. Really, ideally, you get 4, right? 4 cons expanding, but.
If we want to talk about the path that the constructor's taking as it is, keep in mind that like if you build like a ring of mexes around your base, like those 3 mexes, that means a constructor is going to later walk past one of those metal extractors and not be able to stop there to build it. So you're costing yourself a lot more walking time, which is going to make your expansion slower, especially because like between like that first mex you're building and the second mex you're building, that is a huge walking distance where it is much shorter to walk from where you are over to the 2 mex. And so that'll get you a much faster return on investment if you head over to that 2 mex next.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a great more of like a solution you can take with you in more situations, right? Like don't walk past mexes to cap them or something like that. Or if you think you're gonna have like a branching path like this, don't cross another path. So
yeah.
One more thing I'd add onto the radar is this is a fantastic radar spot for real, and you can put an exploder like right in front of it. So just throwing that out there. Yeah, let's keep moving along. Can I compare this to our man Nutty Wombat here? First con's going this way, another con's going that way. Is making
Wait, his first con does do like a loop. I actually think I got the thing from. I see. Okay, it goes back and then
yeah,
out.
he must have gone this way. Yeah, which even then, you might make an argument like, if this con is going to stop and make wind turbines, then maybe this con should go like mech, then wind turbines, where this con here should be expanding that way to kind of minimize that
Yeah.
walking path.
Mhm.
So, which ties back into what MstrBel is kind of saying. That out of the way, it is all about of just like getting 2-3 cons expanding, get radars, and then try and defend stuff, because as technical as the map is, like with the terrain, it's like it's pretty easy to get raided or not know where to have the right number of units. So this is good. Like just posturing in the front, you got the radar up. Commander's still on the factory assisting, still having E issues, right? This is where you'd be like adding on extra wind turbines with your commander. So wind's kind of cooking right now. And like this is the stuff that happens a lot on this map. If you're not like, if you don't have a really clean open, like a single grunt would come in and just kind of ruin your day. Yeah, see this classic radar spot exploder right there. Okay, this is looking good.
I did
How many constructors is Nutty expanding with?
Three.
Okay, he's got, yeah, and we've only got 2 from Neb.
Well,
Why
yeah,
is
'cause
Neb's
what?
metal income so low? Because
Stalling on
he's
energy.
stalling on energy. Right. In which case,
Yeah. His
dare I
mexes are
say, it would
turning
have
off,
been
right?
more efficient for you to take one of those constructors and build like wind generators rather than the additional mexes, because then we'd have more mexes on and overall be in a better resource situation.
Yeah, this is a big difference already 5 minutes into the game. Like, double income lead. I see Nutty Wombat already has the con turret up and an E storage, and the commander is unfortunately idling right here. But wind sucks right now, so maybe this is just high IQ play. It seems like you have a pretty decent grunt advantage though, so it's like you need to leverage that somehow. Like, yeah, we have a small army advantage, right?
How'd you respond to that battle you just fought, like the Rex there?
I sent my resbot in to resurrect it, and
Okay.
then I left my army on the
Okay. With that
Yeah.
res bot, I probably wouldn't go over near the constructor. I'd probably head straight to the more forward patch, and just looking at the number of grunts that Nutty has on the field, I'm not sure I'd bother to res it. I'd just reclaim it just to ensure that you get it. Because it's a bit of an equal situation, which means it could swing either way.
Yeah.
So you probably want the more decisive benefit from that.
Okay.
It's close. It's close. It is nice. Like, you're right in front of the production though too. So, but we're not really stalling on metal. So, yeah, it's kind of a close decision. I do generally agree if it's a contested reclaim field to just reclaim, right?
Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah, the reason why I didn't go for the reclaim is because I was already like floating metal. So.
The other thing is that if you have to defend a reclaim field, if you have to defend a reclaim field while you're like resurrecting or something, that actually takes pressure off Nutty for a while and potentially gives him like freedom to relatively free expand, because he knows where your army is. It's on the wreck field.
Yeah.
So you definitely don't want to buy yourself up there for long. And yeah, see, even though you've got a significant army, he's brought in a couple race spots and is getting a bunch of the metal.
Losing those 2 response is not ideal.
Yeah. But that definitely could have been avoided by better posturing with the grunts.
And then I also had that con going towards the middle. That was a mistake. I area mexed and it grabbed
Great.
accidentally. Yeah.
Can I give some advice?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
So, do not boost lab without low priority on commanders. You are starving your maxes a lot, Nib. That's why the metal icon is just jumping up and down. Because you don't have energy actually to power up the maxes.
Yeah.
So you're saying stalling E, set your commander on low priority?
Yes, because commander on low priority will not use energy which is for maxes. Maxes have priority on the low.
That's a great point for also stalling metal as well. If you're stalling metal with expanding cons, you should be setting your commander on low priority as well. So the mexes
Yeah, I've started doing that. I think I just forgot to this game because I was under basically like constant pressure.
Yeah. This is
Another thing you can do in this sort of a situation where you're floating so much metal, just start building wind generators and start building solars.
Yep.
Like the metal savings, you can get that back later. And you just want to activate that metal as soon as possible.
The thing is, like, I generally know to do that. It's just like when I'm under playing like against Nutty specifically on this map, he's harassing me so much like right away that I just can't I feel like I can't do anything.
Well, okay, that's fair, but like as you can see, as you saw from maybe a couple of minutes ago, you had like a really big grunt advantage. So I wonder how much of that is actually just like almost in your head in a sense. It's like because I'm poking from a couple of different angles, it seems like I have a lot more when really it's just your mind's playing tricks on you. When you've actually, when you get out there and see the size of my army, you can see you've got a huge lead, right?
Yeah, I mean, because at this point in the game, I kind of knew that I had the I don't know if I still had the army advantage, but at a certain point I knew that, but I didn't really know how to take advantage of that because I knew like I'm not really going to be able to harass you a lot because you have like LLTs everywhere, right? So like what should I have been doing in that situation, you know?
You can't harass. You can still shut him down and make it very expensive for him to push out of the territory he already has.
Okay, so I could have instead of because you're gonna see me move the army in the top. I'm gonna move it in and lose it to get like one con. I could have just left that where it was, or kept it in a better position where I'm just denying his expansion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are a few things I want to say about this. Firstly, you're saying it's like you're too busy dealing with his raids. You've actually chased away his raids for a bit, and what you've done is you've immediately taken 3 armies and thrown pressure back at him. That's given you no time to address your base. What I would advise is when you chase his raids away, then that gives you a bit of a reprieve. Take 5 to 10 seconds to deal with your base, and then you can spend another 30 seconds to a minute dealing with raiding.
Okay.
And because when you're when you have the initiative, like what you do right now, you can definitely use that for raiding, and I wouldn't say take the pressure off completely, but it's more worth taking the pressure off for a short time in order to like reinforce your economy for the next minutes, and that pays off very effectively.
Yeah, that makes sense because I think in this situation I was feeling pressure. I was like, he's been putting pressure on me all game. Now the pressure's off of me, so I need to put pressure back. But I could have instead taken the time to like look and really assess what's going on with my base because I'm stalling on energy right now. Obviously, I'd need something to build like I don't know, probably like 6 solar collectors or something. I don't know, 6 is maybe overkill, but like you know, with my commander, I could put down like like I would do something like that. Because like the thing is,
investing in economy. Investing in economy is a form of pressure. You can't discount that.
Yeah.
If he's attempted to raid you, he's in a sense put pressure on himself to get an economic return out of his raiding on you.
Yeah.
You can view your army in a sense as part of your economy. It's like your army destroys metal and energy worth of enemy units, and that's metal. Not only is that metal and energy worth, but enemy units can gain them value in metal and energy by destroying your units. And so you've put pressure on and gained an advantage of yourself by making his attack on you fail, killing more of his units than you've got, and you've got some sort of an advantage out of that.
Mm-hmm. But also, like, I think, because, like, how long, I don't know, it's just, I think I felt pressure to use that advantage, and clearly I could have used it in a different way, but I don't know what I'm saying, basically.
Well, I
It's
think
just a lot of pressure.
you are using that advantage in a way by keeping him away from your own territory, even without
Yeah.
raiding him.
Yeah.
You're safe, and so you don't have to kill stuff to stop him from gaining value.
Yeah.
Just posturing can be enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I would add to that is if you're not really sure what to be doing in this position, just push as far forward as you can and see how far he's expanded, right? Like, oh, he's got 2 LTs here, right? So it's like, yeah, he's expanded up to here. Maybe you slow him down trying to take this, right? This army in here and mid, right?
But like after you work on your economy, because like if
Yeah.
your army's on your side of the map, you sort of have increased value based on that. You send the
Yeah.
army to the other side of the map, and that opens a ton of risks. You have less
Yeah.
vision and less information about where he is.
Yeah.
If anything dies, he's much more likely to get the reclaim from it, even if you win the battle. And if you win a battle and don't get the reclaim for it, most times you actually lost the battle because he gets the reclaim.
Yeah.
And so playing with advantages on your side of the map often have a much bigger return than anything on his side of the map. And so prioritize that first. And if, say, for example, if you've got a big army, like make sure you can reinforce that army so that with a stable economy, so that you can secure the rec field when there's a battle.
Neb, can I show you something?
Yes.
I don't mean to beat you up too bad, but I'm gonna unpause this and we're gonna watch like you selecting units. And this is something I'm totally guilty of, so I'm not like trying to make you feel bad, right? But just watch how you're controlling the units and how much like wasted actions there are in a sense, like repeating the same commands in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
See,
I've actually been aware of this more
Yeah.
recently. Yeah.
and I'd add on to this, right? Not only it's kind of like doubly inefficient, right? Because I'm looking up at the resource bar and it's like, oh, we're stalling on energy, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, just my 2 cents. This is something I deal with all the time and have been shown in
Yeah.
my own games, right? So it's
But
like,
yeah. I'm essentially using APM to do nothing when I should have been using it to fix my economy.
yep,
Yeah.
good point.
Somewhat. Because you're also watching your attacks as long as you sit there giving them commands. And that can be very useful. So long as you're also paying attention to your other attacks.
I mean, you can play like this
Yeah.
though, totally zoomed out, like
Yeah,
you're
that's
watching.
actually if you go to my player view.
Yeah, this is nice. I would say maybe even a little more top down, but I don't want to say like you have to play a certain way, but
Yeah, this is kind of, I'm pretty picky about my angle, and this is kind of where it's like comfortable, like almost at a tilt. I don't know if the tilt is accurate, but I do play at an angle.
yeah, perhaps that's why you're tilted all the time. It's like,
See, like here, I mean, he has incisors coming out, so it's kind of over anyways, but I have such a big army advantage, right?
you have a huge metal bank, man. Like
Yeah.
That's what I see.
I started stalling. At this point, I was just stalling and like, kind of more caught up in the fact that I had regained control of the board a little bit.
Yeah, this doesn't look too bad. I'm seeing like a couple of mistakes. Like if you do have that opportunity to like push back across the map, I would immediately go and queue up at least 2 cons, right? And like get more build power, solve your E issues, macro up a moment. Like MstrBel was saying, like take some time to set up your eco and your macro, and then go back to
And your vision.
Yeah.
For example,
like
you've got to construct a building laser towers, but you've just established a significant army advantage. Drop a radar before you go to more laser towers. Move your army forward and aim to secure the more forward mexes rather than settling with the back mexes.
Is I saw a grunt go back there.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if he had one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've
done this exact same sweep before many times on this map. Yeah, because like you'll see players like naked expand back here behind these 2 LLTs, right? And like you can get a lot of a grunt back here gets a lot of damage.
Another thing I'll point out is like you've got a lot of grunts in the middle of the map. That doesn't necessarily seem like a great place to have them, considering how little value return you get from the middle of the map.
At this point in the game.
Yeah. You'd probably do a lot more if you put pressure on the south side of the map, where he's actively expanding. Aim to secure that. It's also closer to his base, so it draws his units away from the top side of the map. He can still put some pressure on there, but he'll be much less able to. And until he establishes a significant amount of like laser towers or whatever, that will apply a very significant amount of pressure, which will allow you to more freely expand behind that.
Yeah, Bloodier specifically, I know is very good at doing that. Same with Alt F4, I think. This is good, like here, I like this. Do you take it? I would say make these plays, and if you know this is coming up, I would like bring this resbot down there. It's like you see this and like okay, I'm gonna make this attack, grab the resbot, bring it down there, and then start microing. Because like this is great. I love this.
And then what do you do with the grunts after this?
I think I stopped paying attention and they died.
Right. Right. You fight a battle, sit the army on the wreckage field until you get the reclaim. Unless there's like something specifically urgent. But by losing that army to those laser towers, sure, you won the battle and killed some stuff, but now he's gonna get more reclaim, potentially can get more reclaim out of it than you got value.
Yeah, I think I have a bad habit of trying to force damage.
It's okay.
Rather than forcing damage, force reclaim for yourself. Think about it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as far as like base layout goes, take a look at our man Nutty here, who's got demonstrating pretty solid base layout on this map, putting the contours underneath of the hill, and then second factory goes here, right? So you don't have to like come out of this terrain to get your factory units out. They can immediately just go left, right, or center, right? So and then of course switch between the 2 factories, right? Like reclaiming basic solars. I guess this one is for more scaling E, so this is
I'd say
nice.
In this position, so long as you secure that metal in the middle of the map, you've still got a rather sizable advantage.
Yeah,
make sure you
really
group those grunts up. And what's that constructor there doing?
That was a miss micro.
This is the area mix.
Yeah, that constructor was supposed to go to the south of the map.
Right. that constructor right now should be just dropping laser towers, and your grunts should be staying there, grouping more. You had them very spread out against his incisors. If you brought them together and had them grouped more, they would have done more damage and taken less damage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, the more grouped your units are, the more working together they are, and the more effective they are, exponentially so.
But I thought you want them spaced out because of the surround bonus.
Not that much. Not
Okay.
that much.
Yeah, I mean, if your grunts are in a line like
Because-
this and his incisors are in a circle, you're not going to get flanking damage, right?
Yeah,
Whereas if
because
you're-
half of your units aren't going to even be firing.
Yeah.
And then the units that he is shooting at are gonna die twice as fast, which is like makes him 4 times more effective than you.
Yeah.
And you've got like actually that's much more significant than any
So-
flanking bonus.
So even like I have the ball spaced out in the middle, I shouldn't do that.
Well, like you want it only spaced and circled as much as a grunt's range is, because you want them all firing at the same thing, ideally.
Yes. Yeah.
Or maybe a couple. But if he's got a whole line of incisors, if you spread out to match his line of incisors, you gain much less value
Okay.
out of that than you could if you just focused on a few of his units at a time.
Okay.
This is really nice. I like this 5 con turrets, second factory gone up because he won both reclaim fields somehow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because of the incisors. Because like I don't.
No,
Incisors just
honestly,
creates-
no. I think it was primarily bad micro.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
surround
really.
on your whole army in mid was pretty rough.
Yeah, I did see
you,
that
yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
This is a big no-no, I'd say. Bombers are super energy expensive, and
Yeah.
we never do a bombing run naked, unscouted, and furthermore, bombing downhill is also a no-no. So
Yeah.
sorry.
And another thing is that when you're at this army advantage, what you best want is shurikens to complement your army, so
Yeah.
you're working together, rather than bombers and your grunt. They're going to both be like less effective, each of them.
See,
I
Got a
an
max.
answer. Actually, I think I got a win field, but
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Why is bombing downhill always a no-no? I'm just curious.
I think it messes with the bombing run.
I
Like,
think that's more a bug of the bombers.
Yeah.
Their behavior
Yeah.
is not very good. Sometimes they just won't even drop their payload if they
Right.
go downhill for some reason.
right. So you would want to like fly in like this, something like that.
Yeah.
Tanks are good.
Yeah.
Medium tanks are really strong.
Yeah. Another thing that could have been very valuable for both of you is once you've got enough build power in the base, could have moved the commander out to the middle where the wreckage field was, for example.
Yeah.
And when the wreckage field goes down, then the commander can either reclaim or start dropping laser towers and secure that for you.
Yeah. It's a good point. And that it kind of ties back into like maybe thinking ahead with like this attack over here, right? We were anticipating, if you're anticipating attacks and res fields forming, I don't think it's a bad practice to maybe start thinking about moving your commander there, but it's kind of a double-edged sword, of course. Like you run the
Yeah.
risk of getting sniped, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty short distance, so
And another thing that Neb could have done to like make his position much stronger is just not fight that battle in the middle of the map. There's no real reason to fight it there because he had like 1 or 2 mexes there. Much better to just cede that ground and fight it on his own territory, where it's closer to his constructors, closer to his commander,
right.
closer to all his various advantages and tools that he can use to make sure he gets the medal and the advantage out of it. Plus, it's like closer to your base, it's like you're closer to your reinforcements and further away from the enemies. factory and where their reinforcements are coming from, those kinds of things. You don't want to fight a battle earlier than you have to.
So we're going to be moving into the Canis River game versus Nabi.
Yeah.
And 0B. Wait, is that an 8 now? Not even a B.
I mean, I think he favors arm, if I'm not mistaken.
Battle started.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an arm start.
So he's starting where I was trying to start on
Oh,
this
no,
map
it's core.
over and over again, and I would just get raided over the hill to the south of that position.
Do you spawn vehicles here?
What?
Do you spawn vehicles here?
Yes.
Good.
This is okay. So this build I was trying to do the one that I was losing to because I was going where Nabi is right now.
Yeah.
On this map.
Yeah.
And my opponent would always just go incisors on that hill, and there's pretty much like I felt like there's nothing I could do as a bot player to harass him there. Yeah.
I don't know why you're not spawning here and just like doing the X Factor build.
That's what I was trying to. Here, can I send you a different replay maybe where I try that? Neither of those. I thought starting there was bad, so I stopped.
Oh,
I
here?
kept losing. Yeah.
I mean, it's either or. I think if you spawn up here, it's really important to like just go 2 con in your base and then just walk with your commander like this.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. NBD. Well, let's check it out. Let's see how this goes down. Oh, yeah, 5 wins before factory, man.
Yeah. I gambled a little too hard. And actually there I meant to put a solar down, and then I just misclicked and committed to it when I probably shouldn't have.
Oh my goodness, he already has the radar up. 3 scouts, con, 3 incisors.
Why 3 scouts?
To just see what he was doing, and then do some harassment if I can.
Okay. I generally say 1 scout is enough to see what he's doing. 2 should be plenty, 3 might be overkill.
Yeah, 2 is probably a good number.
Why'd you take the constructor that way?
So that I could build defense, get a radar up, and then build get that area defended.
That is a lot. That is a lot of laser towers for 1 max.
Well, I was thinking of it as more defending my base.
Yeah, we do have the scout this early, right? So
ideally your base should defend your own base, because if you have a good position radar, which I wouldn't say that is, it's blinded by a hill there. Yeah. If you have reasonable build power in your base, you can put out far more than 2 laser towers worth of defense from your factory in the time it takes an army to get to you.
Yeah.
Or even drop 2 laser towers in your base itself. So I'd really characterize those 2 laser towers as only defending that 1 mechs for you. And you don't have the spare metal for it. That metal extractor is not going to pay itself and those laser towers off in reasonable timing.
Okay.
Far better to take that constructor down to like a 3 mechs and build all of them and focus your factory on defending it.
Okay.
And especially with your scouts, if you do have 3 scouts, that you can use that to like identify whether he's sending any units across to you. Once you know that his grunts,
Yeah.
that should be easy enough for you to track. And then you can you can go pretty naked if his grunts and your incisors. You have the speed advantage, you have a power advantage, and hopefully you acquire a vision advantage too.
This is a big no-no. You should never make conturts unassisted, generally speaking.
Yeah, I try not to.
Yeah. I don't mean to beat you up too bad, Ned, but I think this build was a little too passive. Like, we made a lot of early incisors, but didn't really leverage them, right?
Yeah, that's because I honestly don't like playing with incisors, and I felt like this map, you kind of have to. That's just how I felt, so I was trying, but like, I don't know, I just don't really like how they play personally. And I was thinking if I send them and lose them, then it's like, you know,
it's a bigger
a lot
deal
of
than losing
metal
grunts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, I would say you got to bring rovers with your army. You got to scout ahead, stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't send incisors in blind, and there's, oh, whoops, there's a degunning commander right there, you know. It blasts everything down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just keep practicing it. You'll get a feel for it. I would also add, like, you can harass with, like, a single incisor and a single scout and, like, bring them around the edge of the map like you do with grunts, right? And then posture in middle, right? Because it's like, if you had scouted and seen his commander was there on the right side, that tells you to, like, attack the right, basically. Or pressure the right, maybe something like that. Because incisors are just pretty much dog shit against commanders.
Yeah.
And one other point I noticed, like, with your expansion pattern, like, you move down with your commander like this and then double backed.
I could have just sent a con out.
Yeah,
there, right?
I think that'd be a little more acceptable. And then, of course, like,
yeah, my con was idle here.
Yeah, picking these up, right? Putting some defenses and then moving here, something like that. So
okay.
I guess a lot of maps are kind of like build order dependent, right? So, or maybe I should say more like expansion pattern dependent. This is nice, but it's a little too late, right? Like,
yeah, I see that now.
They're also way too spread out. It's gonna pick you off relatively one by one in that situation.
Okay, so I just thought you wanted to spread units in the game because of the surround that you can get.
Not incisors for sure. Incisors you want like clumped up in a tight ball. They can shoot over themselves and they have like high DPS. Yeah. So
yeah.
And then you want to be like kiting that little small ball away from units if you want to get units.
I mean, even it because there is benefit to spreading them out a little bit, just not that much.
Yeah.
I
mean, at this point, I've lost because I didn't get as much damage as I thought there, and then he has all the reclaims. So
part of the problem there, I'd say, is you went towards the base. Generally speaking, going towards the base, that's the most defended place on the map. That's where all his units are going to be able to get to easiest, and where he's pointing out stuff, and where he's got his constructors. Yeah, and anything in the base is going to be most easily rebuilt. Like, unless you have a really devastating attack that he's completely unprepared for, it usually doesn't amount to much.
Yeah. Yeah, and I left this ridge undefended, which is how I lost. But I actually degun all of those incisors coming across, luckily.
I'm seeing these same power issues, right? If you have this much metal. Oh! Sorry. I would be like dropping solars with your commander, right? Dropping solars and then like telling your contour to assistant, right? You can like drop a solar here, tell the contour to assistant, and then drop another solar with that con, right? So really got to be quickly as possible. Like, it's like more important than anything else you're doing is making sure.
Yeah, I probably have been also in most of my games under building E, because I talked last week with like Nutty and Zateo about trying not to overflow.
Yeah.
Um,
I'd say like as long as it's below 10%, it's okay. You're
Yeah.
like way below that right now, so
Yeah.
I'd say like your fourth con you can have scale E, right? Just generally.
Yeah.
So maybe try that, and like 300-ish E per second. Start making like energy. Energy storage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm seeing like energy and energy converter, no energy storage. Like,
would you make a storage before you try to make a converter?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Underflow on energy is maybe even worse than overflow because it's harder to fix.
Yeah.
Either way, it's metal that you can't use.
Yeah, I think I can probably start doing, because what I would do in the past is I would just set like my fourth con to like idle E scale E,
Yeah.
but then I wouldn't like pay attention to it, and I would overbuild E. So I think I can probably go back to doing that now that I've like practiced a lot of like watching for E overflow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I lost at this point, so yeah.
Okay, would y'all be interested in doing like a breakout game or something like that, or?
I would, I could,
I mean, yeah, that works, but I also have a replay I guess I could submit.
Okay, yeah, send it. Who is that?
It was me, Lizard Height.
Is it a 1v1?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I do have to take off, but thank you guys for the feedback.
Yeah, Neb.
Neb.
Always a pleasure, man.
Yeah.
Before you go, I just dropped a link to a video in the channel chat, which could be very useful for you, regarding the idea of when to spread out units and when to not, or the benefit of not spreading out your units too much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I will check that out. Thank you very much.
Cool. You're very welcome.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. It's always hard, to watch yourself be and all the mistakes, but I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Cheers, man. Thanks for putting yourself out there, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys around.
See you. Was that? Excuse me. Lizard. Can you like put that replay in the Bar Academy?
In Bar Academy?
Yeah, just like is there a URL to the replay?
Sure. Wait, what do you mean in
He's put the file in the channel chat.
Yeah, either.
I put it in the chat of the voice chat.
Okay, that works. Yep.
Yeah.
Comet Catcher, okay.
Yeah.
When was this played? What day?
Either yesterday or the day before.
Chop Face? I haven't seen him around in a while. How long have you been playing Bar, Lizard?
Like, by chevrons, under 100 hours. By when I first started, like, one and a half years.
Okay.
On and off.
Right. Well, good to have you back, right?
Battle started.
When I'm playing, mostly depends on whether or not I've organized my schedule enough to have time for Bar at the moment.
Right.
Is anyone else here kind of like me, where it's like less than a month of playing Bar?
Maybe 55th skate. He seemed pretty new, but How'd you find us, right?
I was looking up games that are similar to Command and Conquer on Reddit, and this
Yeah.
came up.
Okay, nice. Well, glad you're here. Glad you found
Thank
us.
you.
This is a pretty standard open lizard, I'd see.
Yep. I took it from Nutty, so.
Yeah, not sure if you need this third solar. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
I find that I e-stall when I don't build it, so.
Yeah, the second one is good. Sorry, I thought you were making a third solar before the factory. So.
No, that was after the factory.
Yeah. Good. Yep.
Mhm.
2 grunts, 2 cons, 5 grunts con. Okay, yeah. This is mostly an incisor map or like a vehicle map, so it's interesting to see you play grunts here.
I don't know. I like playing grunts.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I like it too. I think you might end up overmaking E here. Let's see.
Yeah, I think I do. Oh, yeah, because the radar. Okay.
Right, radar ate it all up, but now... Okay, so that's fairly balanced. Okay, I like this. We're expanding with our commander. I don't see like a really long queue built up. Maybe that's something you might want to get like a practice of.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple different ways to expand with your commander on this map. I've seen it done like... I could explain 2 ways. You can like cut the map like this, and then you get all this kind of to free expand to. Like make LLTs and shit like along the way, right? And like radars and stuff.
Mhm.
I see other players go more for like a mid style, and I'll explain it briefly if I can. The difference between defending a shape like this than it is defending a shape like this, right? Or it might be like maybe approximately the same number of mexes, but if you think like
Oh, yeah, it's a lot easier to defend.
yeah. So that can
smaller
be the
characters.
trap of like expanding down here while you're expanding here and moving your commander out. Like you're just you end up being super spread out. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll see that in this match.
So I don't know why I didn't queue it up, but I actually had my commander walk like to the back of that area,
Okay.
like
yeah.
up to the right, which is probably not the right way now that I think about it.
Yeah, I think you like on this map you want to be like gobbling up the space and like the real estate,
Yeah.
so to speak, and just like putting down LLTs and radars as quickly as you can. So like I think that attributes to why you see a lot of players just either go like straight into mid and like getting this line as close to your opponent as you can, or just finding some like clean, efficient way to like slice the map. Like look at this. There's like so many mexes. You just like bounce between these and just adding LLTs along the way, and then expanding with your slower, more vulnerable cons behind it. This is weird. He's got his contour already finished. Okay. 3 cons expanding. Yeah, see, this isn't the position you want to be like. See how these incisors are kind of cleaning up like low density units of like grunts, right? Like you want to be like incisors are tough to play against with grunts, so you really like, and there's not much ways to abuse the terrain on this map. So I think if you're gonna open with bots, you need to be thinking like, how do I transition to vehicles, right? Especially if you see them going core vehicles, right? Because like at a certain amount of time, it's like you really can't trade into incisors, so they can kind of push wherever you need them to be. One second, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that.
Can I pose a question to Lizard?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's the benefit of having your commander where it is right now?
Nothing much really.
Okay. Where could you put him that would be using more of his abilities?
Like one max group to the left.
I'd probably put him right in the middle of the map. What I try to do on Comet Catcher, to be honest, is I work out where the enemy space is, and then I walk my commander straight towards that. There's a couple big benefits of that. Firstly, it's like that puts it right in the middle of the action, so I can get to anywhere it needs to be as fast as possible, and so it's just closer to anything that's happening. And then there's a second benefit, is that if your commander's between his base and yours, it means he has to go through your commander to get to your base, which means that it's harder for, like, either he has to go through your commander and kill the commander or risk being degunned, or he has to go around, which makes it longer to get to your base. So by virtue of literally having your commander in the middle of the map, it makes you safer. And so not only would you be in position to reclaim that battle that's just happened in the middle of the map and defend it, drop LLTs, whatever, you'd also be in better position to just keep armies away from your base.
Good points.
Okay.
Good points.
Also, I'm looking at this now and I'm realizing that I could have killed half his mexes for the past 2 minutes if I had sent grunts on the edges.
Yeah, that could be the problem with
Yeah.
grunts, is they have such low line of sight. Can be hard to know where to attack, and that was a bit of a donation, I guess.
Yeah.
So here, I think we're maybe overbuilding build power. One nice ratio you can do is, like, say after your first con turret is finished, you can go A solar, con turret, A solar. Yeah, he's got a few.
Oh, okay.
And I guess another point too is, like, once you're in this, like, mid game, it can be hard to spend your metal as bots, right? So we're floating a bit. You can get onto.
Yeah, I'm building a vehicle lab for that.
Yeah. Oh, I see that. Yep. One nice trick is you can build a couple early pounders out of the forward vehicle lab, and that really protects it, right? So I'd go like maybe like 2 cons, 2 pounders, and then medium tanks. And until you feel protected, just keep the pounders next to your commander. And then this is where the situation gets even worse, like bots versus vehicles, right? Like medium tanks do like splash damage versus grunts, and like what MstrBel was saying earlier, you want your units clumped up to engage, but at that point it's like, well, now you're just feeding into how good medium tanks are against grunts, right? So
yeah,
which then you want to start thinking, okay, I need a transition, something like that. This is...
You don't necessarily need to transition, just probably at the very least make sure they're engaging at the same time as your medium tanks.
Yeah.
And then try to focus them on, like, going around and avoiding his army.
Exactly. And, like, still we have like a full metal bar stalling on metal or energy. So that's where I'd start thinking about making, like, just more basic solars or even A solars.
You're trying to defend an area, probably something like double Ace of Towers or pop-ups are a better call.
Yeah.
Also, when he's got units right in your base, it's probably the wrong time to be attacking around the side. Those units could have been coming back and fighting in the mid, and you'd have been able to kill the units in your base and get a much more substantial advantage from that, from like early like reclaim or res. That would pay off far faster than killing a bunch of mexes. Because killing mexes brings an advantage at a lag, while killing an army brings an advantage now.
I put a replay in the chat.
And then it's just closer to the middle of the map. It's like you don't want to be fighting more battles than you have to. And you had overkill grunts for that raid in the top corner of the map.
Good points. Agril, I see you submitted that replay. Would you mind holding on to this till next week? Like, we can make you a Bar Academy ticket, and then this will be the first one we do next week, or if that suits you. Hey.
Oh, no worries. I don't know what my schedule will be next week, so.
I'll tell you what. If I can review it and record it, and it'll be on my YouTube channel. So.
No.
Yeah.
That's just Patak hype right there.
Patak hype.
Because he just bodies me in this game.
Is that what you want reviewed? I mean, I'd be happy to review any of your replays, man. So.
No, it's okay, dude. Don't worry about it. Next time I'll try to catch you a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it's we've just been going I like to keep it around an hour. So hopefully I can catch you around. But yeah, if you can submit this in the Bar Academy, tag at Mentor, and we'll make a thread for it. So we'll get this one reviewed for you. That helps you out.
No worries.
Yep. Yeah. But kind of want to like close it down here. So just want to say, MstrBel, thanks for showing up. Nutty Wombat, Neb's not here, but and Lizard, man. So everyone else, kind of thanks for showing up. Yeah.
Welcome.
GG's.
Yeah, man. GG's. Good seeing you guys, and I'll catch you next week. So same time, same place. Next Tuesday, I'll be around here. So take it easy, guys, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.